So I think a big part of the reason why so many people make ass music is because art is associated with like freedom. Music is considered art. Art is like synonymous with like freedom. So people feel like they have like the liberty to just go in the studio and just try shit. You know what I mean? Just try shit. And that's not the case. Like music, just like anything else, or the process of recording music and songwriting, there's proper steps, just like anything else. Like somebody showed you how to drive a car. You didn't just get behind the wheel of a car and just start all right, let me see what happens, hope for the best. Somebody showed you how to tie your shoes, like how to fucking lace and tie your shoes. Somebody showed you how to tie a tie. Somebody showed you how to bake a cake. You know what I'm saying? Like there's literally instructions on the back of the cake mix that you have to follow to bake the cake. Now, once you become great at baking cakes, like once you have the steps, once you have the recipe memorized, then you can start to innovate and you can start to experiment and you can start to, kind of like carve out your own lane, carve out your own path or your own niche. But music is the same way. But for whatever reason, there's a disconnect. There's like a musical like illiteracy that a lot of people have, and it makes them really tone deaf. So when you listen to their music and the shit sounds awful, but in their mind, they're like, well, I'm just, I'm not trying to impress anybody. And it's like, well, that's dishonest. If you're not trying to impress anybody, why are you releasing this to the world? And nobody can answer that question, because the truth of the matter is you think that what you're making is cool, but it's really not. That shit should stay on your hard drive, but you're sharing it with the world, and all of us got to suffer and listen to that bullshit. There has to be a standard, just like anything else. Somebody showed you how to make a bed. Somebody showed you how to finger paint when you were in fucking kindergarten or first grade, like just so on and so forth. A pilot needs simulator hours. They need, like they need a certain amount of flight hours before they can confidently and competently fly solo. Just with anything in life that applies to, but for some reason there's a disconnect. And I think when you start talking about art, for some reason, man, art, particularly music, it just draws a lot of people that are like on the spectrum. I'm talking like mental health, like cognitive awareness now, like or cognitive function. A lot of motherfuckers who make music are kind of slow for real. They're off. And when you talk to them in casual conversation, you'll notice them say a bunch of like oddball shit. And it'll make you go like, yeah, this nigga's a little off. And like, it just a lot of people that are like not right in the head, they gravitate to music. Music is like some type of like therapy for them, a form of expression or whatever. But there's a lot of that. Like I've met so many artists that that was their like battle cry. Like that's what they hung their hat on. Like, well, no, man, like, well, I'm not trying to impress anybody, and there's something for everybody. And they kept coming up with like these weird justifications. And the reality is that they just didn't, or either they didn't want to, or they just weren't capable of doing the work, doing their due diligence to become a good artist. Like when I first got serious about writing songs, I would study my favorite artists and I would kind of pattern and model myself after them. And then in that process, on top of just life experiences, ups and downs, trials and tribulations, you find yourself along the way. And then you don't need to really, you can start to color outside the lines at that point. But when you first start writing songs and recording songs, you need to color inside the lines. And then eventually you'll find yourself. And it won't take long. It won't take like 10, 20 years. It'll happen quickly. It'll happen like within the first couple of years of you making music. You'll start to figure out like, okay, it's cool that I made this song that sounds like a fucking Twista song, but I need to find myself. It's cool that I made this song that sounds like a Lil Wayne song. It's cool that I made this song that sounds like a Future song. It's cool that I made this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll hear it and you'll be impressed, like, damn, okay. But eventually your own music will kind of start to sound like karaoke night. And you'll get away from that. If you love this shit enough, you'll get away from that and start doing your own thing. But The reason why so many niggas is ass is because they don't have a standard. They don't have a standard. And that's kind of what I was touching on when I was playing that fucking collaboration that I did with the cat 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤. The nigga didn't have a real standard. Like, you know what I mean? He just kind of gave me a bullshit verse. It was like, here, man, this is good enough. And it's like, no, nigga, like, my verse set the bar. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying your verse has to sound like my verse. I'm saying I actually want you to exceed my verse. I would love it if a nigga sent me a verse that was so hot. I'm like, God damn, nigga, that nigga crushed my verse. Because ultimately, that's going to elevate the quality of the song as a whole. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make people listen and be like, damn, nigga, I don't know if I like the first verse more or the second verse more or blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want. But you can't be, you got to have some type of standard, man. People that operate from a place of, well, I'm just expressing myself, man. And I don't know who this is for, but there's somebody who's bound to like it. People that approach music on some like a bit, to me, that's like the abyss of music. You know what I'm saying? Of songwriting. Like, you in the abyss, my nigga. Like, you in the upside down, like some Stranger Things type shit. You making music and you have no clue who these songs are for or who you're speaking to or who you're trying to reach. You just hope that something, you just throwing it out there and just hoping that, you know what I mean, on some cosmic kismet type shit that somebody likes it. I don't really want to work with artists like that. I don't want to do that. You know, I'm 40 years old. I'm not 14. You know what I mean? When I first started rapping and writing songs, that was kind of cool to just kind of try to figure it out and try to find your footing and get your sea legs and all that shit. But at 40, man, if we ain't making some fire, I don't want to do it. I do not want to be in the studio just fucking around, just trying to, like, fuck that. I ain't doing that. So from a philosophical standpoint, I just don't mesh with a lot of niggas that make music because they're not as serious about the shit. They're not obsessed with the shit. They're just kind of fucking around and having fun. And I ain't really trying to make music with niggas that's just fucking around and having fun. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying? And nobody should feel no way about that because there's countless niggas that are willing to fill my slot. You know what I'm saying? You can easily replace me with a nigga that's cool with that. But me personally, man, if that shit ain't up to a certain standard, I don't want to do it.